Texans for Vaccine Choice is about parents having a choice. And
Yes.
I think some parents, and don't feel like, it depends on what state they are, some parents and actually adults, they felt like they weren't really given a choice, even
Yes.
over COVID, even with some children. Either your kid's going to have the vaccine or they can't go to school. You have to have the vaccine or you're going to lose your job. It was pretty rough. But the one thing about Texas is we do have a choice. Parents have a choice to not vaccinate their children. It's harder for adults. We haven't even talked about adults getting exemptions, because I know some friends that went for some exemptions and they got denied.
Yes.
Here in the state of Texas, even though, you know, what Governor Abbott did, it still did not stop people. And they frown upon exemptions. A lot of people do.
Yes.
And I've heard people in the past, and I've heard the news and the media, because they want to guilt people into doing something and saying, is this it's a moral responsibility, and what you do is affecting other people. But at the end of the day, it's really a personal choice on what you decide to put into your body,
Yes.
vaccine-wise.
It is. So yes, so in Texas we do have exemptions for school enrollment. You know, all charter schools, all public schools, and any private school that accepts any state funding and higher education facilities are compelled to accept the exemptions that we have in Texas for those students that are being enrolled. You just go to the Department of State Health Services website, you request an exemption, they mail them, and then you get it, you fill out the form, you notarize it, and you turn it into the school nurse. Now, to your point, the adult exemptions have been, it has been an all-consuming task here at Texans for Vaccine
I was about
Choice.
to say, this is a whole nother level
Yes.
now. You're not just dealing with children and pre-made, paperwork
Yes.
that you can just request online in the
Yes.
state of Texas. Now you're dealing with adults.
Yes, it's been so easy being able to help the parents, because it's a very streamlined process for those school exemptions. For adults with their jobs and such, this has really become almost another whole arm of Texans for Vaccine Choice, is helping adults navigate exemptions for their employers. Because, to your point, these executive orders from Governor Abbott
Right.
simply have been ignored. And so many Texans today are still losing their jobs over the COVID vaccine.
How do you deal with, I know you may not know this answer, but this is another thing we're having to deal with. We have people that work, like my brother, for instance, he works for a company outside of Texas.
Yes.
So he's working for a company in another state. They are requiring vaccinations. And now, luckily enough, they did honor his, because he has the ability to work remotely.
Yes.
But they work out of state. Do you know by any chance if the state of Texas is working on anything like that, or do they just believe at this point it's up to the governor, that his executive order still stands?
Yes. So these are very muddy waters, and it's something we are navigating along with everybody else. The issue is that every company has set their own requirements, their own exemption policies. Some are very lenient, some are very strict, some are, you just don't know. So every circumstance has to be individually crafted as far as the exemption paperwork, and that requires just a lot of time to dive into the policy, dive into how we can craft the exemption to comply with the policy, and and add in this is an out-of-state employer. It's talk about muddy waters.
How do you do that?
I've
had people beg me. They're like, Kambree, you know so many people. Can you please help me? And I'm sitting here thinking, I don't know what laws you fall under. I don't know. Your contract with your company, the address for the company is in New York City.
Yes.
It's totally different. I don't even know how to redirect people or where to send them, because it's like you said, muddy waters, and it really shouldn't be that way, but they politicize this so much, and like you said, they're doing things out of fear and out of control.